Coronation Street star Lucy Fallon tells of fallout from harrowing Bethany Platt grooming plot. Actress revealed that as she laid flowers for Manchester bomb victims, a woman whispered to her, "My dad abused me when I was young." For Coronation Street's Lucy Fallon, the last few months have been grueling. Not because of the long hours or her draining scenes as groomed schoolgirl Bethany Platt, but because every day she thinks of the real victims. Tomorrow night, Lucy will find out if she's won Best Actress at the British Soap Awards. Yet whether or not she takes home the trophy will pale into significance for the 21-year-old beside the feeling she gets when she hears from women and young girls whose lives she's helped save. She's had dozens of messages from victims thanking her for highlighting child grooming, but it was while laying flowers for victims of the Manchester Arena bombing that she had one of her most poignant encounters. Lucy says, "I went to St. Anne's Square to put some flowers down at the memorial and somebody tapped me on the shoulder. She said, 'Can I whisper something to you?' She was about 60. I thought she was going to say, 'I really like koi.' But she said, 'I was sexually abused by my dad when I was younger.' She got upset, then told me she really appreciated what I had done. It makes me really proud when people say things like that to me." In a time when grooming gangs are being exposed across the country, from Rochdale to Telford, Lucy knows there are hundreds of girls going through the same ordeal as her character Bethany. Viewers watched in horror as the 15-year-old was lured into a destructive relationship by older boyfriend Nathan, played by Chris Harper. In Thursday's episode, he drugged Bethany's drink before leaving her to be gang-raped by a group of men. The episode was watched by 7.9 million people, the soap's biggest audience since last January, and sparked a huge reaction from viewers. Speaking from Koi's set in Salford, Lucy says, "Quite a few girls have contacted me on Instagram to say this happened to them. You can't imagine that kind of thing happening until you speak to somebody who it did happen to and they tell you they were raped when they were 6. If people who are watching are being sexually abused now, we want them to be able to come forward." Yet after working with charities such as NSPCC, Lucy knows girls can't be saved overnight. Even though viewers saw a police raid in Koi last night, Bethany still faces a long struggle to escape Nathan's clutches. One charity told us somebody they are helping is still writing letters to the person who abused them, in prison, says Lucy. They don't believe they have been groomed, they are just completely brainwashed. It can take years for people to realize what has happened to them. Filming scenes can be tough, but Lucy has a secret weapon: salesman boyfriend Tom Leach. The pair have been dating for a year and have just moved in together in Lucy's hometown Blackpool, an hour's commute from the Koi set. "My boyfriend doesn't watch it because it is me in that situation," Lucy says. "I think it is harder to watch it than it is for me to film it. That sounds weird, but I tell myself, this isn't real, and they let me go home straight afterwards. Then if my boyfriend knows I've had a hard time, he makes sure he has my tea ready." Just 2 years ago, Lucy was desperate to be an actress but couldn't afford to go to drama school, so she spent her days going to as many auditions as possible while working each night in a pub in Blackpool. Then fate stepped in. Katie Redford, originally cast as Bethany, was dropped after it emerged she was 25, not 19 as street bosses had thought. Lucy, then 19, took her place. 2 years ago, "I literally didn't know what I was going to do with my life," she says. "I had auditioned for drama school but my mum and dad couldn't afford the fees. It's about £13,500 a year, then you have living expenses. So I was auditioning by day and working on the North Pier in the Merry England bar at night. Then it all happened really quickly. I went to audition for Koi and I was told I hadn't got the part. But then a couple of days later I was told I had got it and to come in the next day." Born in Blackpool to accountant Angela and engineer Andrew, Lucy has 2 sisters, Rachel, 33, and Laura, 31. "I quite like being the baby of the family," says Lucy. When Mum and Dad had me, they were starting over again, so I was like an only child and I was a bit spoiled. My sisters went to Barbara Jackson's dance school near where we lived, so I started going. Then I went to drama lessons. I think Mum secretly wanted one of us to go down this route. Yet Koi is Lucy's first major role, and she was so nervous for her first day that it's all a blur. I can't even remember being here on set, she laughs. I remember seeing Helen Worth and being starstruck. All I could think about was watching Koi at home when Richard Hillman drove the Platts into the canal. Lucy is thrilled to be part of the Platt family, with actors Jack P. Shepherd as David, Sue Nichols as Audrey, Helene as Gail and Tina O'Brien as her screen mum Sarah. They're amazing, says Lucy. They are just there if I need them. Helen is really motherly. She was also close with Ben Price, who has just left after nearly 8 years as Bethany's uncle Nick Tilsley. I miss him. I used to ask him for advice a lot, Lucy says. Once I had seen which I didn't think I was doing right. He asked me if I was okay and I just burst into tears. Lucy's storyline has made her rethink her love of social media, and she hopes it will show parents how easy it is for children to be groomed. She says, if you want to pose as somebody else, you could, and nobody else would know unless they met you. I think children under 16 should have a really protected private account that their parents monitor all the time, or they shouldn't be on it at all. Tomorrow night, Lucy's family and Tom will be there to support her at the awards, at the Lowry Theatre in Manchester. Lucy is the youngest Best Actress nominee, up against co-star Kym Marsh, 40, Emmerdale's Charlotte Bellamy, 44, EastEnders Lacey Turner, 29, and Hollyoaks Anna Parsi, 32. But if she doesn't win, Lucy will still be proud of her work. She adds, if I am having a tough day filming, I think about what people who it really happened to have been through. Nothing can compare to that.